This is gonna be like my 5th time recording this, and I swear to God, if the camera's blurry again, I think I'm just gonna like lose my mind.
Here's a very serious problem that I think about from time to time. It's the fact that people don't realize just how wonderful they are. They don't see the gifts that they have to offer to this world, and they don't recognize how truly incredible their life is. And I understand, because I definitely was there at one point. So that's why I just feel like it's so ridiculous that we don't see how great we all are just because we exist. Something that I never shared with anyone was what I wanted to be when I was a little girl. And when I was young, I really wanted to be a motivational speaker, which sounds insane coming from the mouth of a tiny 3-year-old girl. But if you don't dream big, then what's the point of dreaming at all? In reality, I think I just really wanted to be someone that made people happy. And the best way that I knew how is just with my words and my brain and my thoughts. But as I've gotten older, it's weird because I feel like I had a point in my life where I abandoned that dream, and then I got a lot older and I was like, why the hell not? Why not help people actualize their goals and help people realize just how incredible they really are? And given this whole quarantine situation, even though we're supposed to be opening up the country again, against the advice of health professionals, I thought what better way to start than with, podcast. And that's what brings us here today. A little bit about myself for those of you that don't know who I am, which is probably a large majority of you guys that are watching. My name is Tracy. I'm a first-generational Chinese American woman, and I feel like every time anyone hears the phrase first generation, one of the first things that pop into their mind is like college. Like, ooh, first-gen college kid. That's exactly me. In most Asian families that I've talked to, including like my own, education definitely plays a really big role in everything. But I've come to realize that with the pursuit of higher education and dreams in general, they can't really happen successfully if you're not the person that's trying to pursue it. And I know that sounds kind of like a stereotypical like Disney movie, like, I'm not pursuing my dream, I'm pursuing yours. But it's very true. When I was 18 and I graduated high school, I was accepted into our local 4-year university, and I feel like everyone who is accepted to any college is like super ecstatic to go, but that definitely wasn't the case for me. I hit this like really harsh depression in my life, and it was honestly a really dark moment in my time, and I ended up failing my first semester of college, and I flunked out of that university. And I feel like most people, would say that it's a part of your journey, and I think it's true. It definitely is a part of my own journey. But the thing is, when you're someone who has only had like perfect grades their entire life and felt like they had something to prove their entire life, for you to go from that to immediately plummeting and like kind of ruining your own life, it's hard. Even though that happened, and it was really, really rough as it was happening, I still consider it one of the most defining moments in my life. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned was there's really no point in pursuing a dream if it's not your own dream. I went to that university to try and please my parents, and that was the first time in my life I realized I really shouldn't be doing anything unless it's to please myself. I had to realize the hard way that chasing a dream without any real purpose or passion behind it ultimately leads you nowhere. And I really wish that my younger self had someone to kind of tell them, hey, this doesn't have to be the only way, but you kind of have to be the only person that picks yourself up by the bootstraps and you just keep going. And I tell you this really small snippet of my story because I feel like it's super important to be transparent. I'm creating this podcast for the people that are kind of lost the same way that I was lost back then. And to be honest, it's not like I've hit some weird form of nirvana either. I'm still equally as lost, but I have a stronger will and determination in order to find who I really am and what I want to be. It takes an extremely strong will and strong network of people to help you up. And I kind of want to be that person, or at least someone there for you to tell you that you're perfectly capable of anything that you want to do, and you're going to succeed if that's what you want to do. If success is the end goal, then you have to just claim it as your end goal. There's no other way around it. Ultimately, I feel like I've learned that there's no one that's really gonna save you but yourself. And that can either be really scary or really liberating. But throughout this podcast, I want to help people realize that they can be their own superheroes and they can use their own superpowers that everyone has, but no one seems to fully utilize to their fullest extent to help them live their best life. Hence why this podcast is named Our Innate Superpowers. I have a few topics in mind that I want to explore, but of course I'm always open to different ideas. So if there is something that you want me to talk about, please do leave that in the comments section below, because I'm really interested to see what you guys have in mind for this moving forward. If you've made it to the end of this video, I do thank you. I hope that you do decide to join me on this journey. If you don't, that's fine too. I completely understand. But I do want you to walk away with something. And there is a question that I want to pose to you. And that question is, what is something that you can do for future you to help yourself in the future? I think all too often we live in the present, which that's great. Be present. But sometimes we need to think in terms of our future self. What can we do that is going to be a positive investment in our future? So what's something that future you is going to benefit from? And it doesn't have to be something big. It can be something relatively small, like calling up an old friend and going and reminiscing on old times, or reading a new book and learning something new. Something that's going to truly nourish your soul. If what I've talked about so far really resonates with you or just sounds interesting, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next episode.